Let me read to you a passage from the 6th chapter of St. Matthew's Gospel, verses 19 to 23. It's the Gospel for Friday of the 11th week in Ordinary Time. St. Matthew writes, Jesus said, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness?" That's from Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 to 23. What does it suggest to us? Well, it speaks to us of our true treasure. What do I mean? Well, a profound paradox deeply embedded in the human heart is, on the one hand, the calling to life in eternity, and on the other, the great desire to remain with and possess the things of this life. Consider our situation. It is, I suggest, a cause of wonder that we die. We enter life with much to look forward to and to do, and either very soon, or after a little while, or at length, we die and are gone from this world. What then is the point? We make a brief appearance on the stage and are then gone forever, to be seen no more. We have intimations in our heart that we must expect some kind of reckoning after we have gone, but it is divine revelation which throws light on what happens after death, and therefore on the true meaning of this brief life. This passing life, this flicker that is our appearance, is a trial, we might say, a test, which determines our eternity. So there is something about each day that ought to inspire awe, and it is that the day before us is determining our eternal lot. We have a calling which is being worked out minute by minute now, and that calling is to be with God forever, beyond this earthly veil. It has started now and is being worked out now. This being the case, one would think that we would be giving our whole heart, mind, soul and strength to the task of ensuring that our next life is all that God wishes it to be for us. We know that the stakes are high and everything about it is being resolved now. But paradoxically, we are strikingly reluctant. We love this life and this world, and our heart is instinctively deeply attached to it. Our treasure is here, even though our real treasure is not here at all, but beyond. Generally, we have little appreciation of the depth of our attachment to the things of this world. We are part of this world. We are deeply material while being principally spiritual. We are made to enjoy life here and now, and we do not want to leave it. In fact, we want to have more. It is difficult to let go and seek the higher and the better. In his classic little book called The Spiritual Exercises, St. Ignatius of Loyola presents for our meditation the foundation of a life of union with God, which is to say, the fundamental challenge in attaining the true end for which we were made. He calls it the principle and foundation of everything. The challenge is to attain detachment from the things of this life which we so naturally love, either for their own sakes or for ours, and instead to become entirely attached to the love and service of God, which is where our true happiness lies. The challenge of life is to use the things of this world to the extent that they assist us to attain the end for which we were made, which is to praise, reverence and serve God our Lord. This requires that we struggle against and overcome our deep attachment to the goods of this passing life. All of this brings us to our gospel passage today that I read earlier, Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 to 23, in which our Lord is simple, blunt and uncompromising. He says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." The simple fact is that all the treasures of this life will pass away anyway. A person works long and hard to purchase a beautiful home, or perhaps to ensure that his children are given a very good education, and these goals are worthy as far as they go, but they can collapse in a moment. The house is built, and a month later, the person who attained his prize has a massive heart attack and is debilitated for the rest of his short life. His children are provided with their very good education, their very good start in life, but they too have numerous vicissitudes. The mistake was that he gave his heart to purely temporal goods and goals, and did not seek God and his holy will in these things. Very seriously too, he entirely forgot the poor, or deliberately ignored them for the sake of attaining his treasure here on earth. Our Lord says elsewhere that by giving to the poor we shall have treasure in heaven. We need light to see these things, and that light comes especially in the gift of faith. We are blessed by our baptism with the gift of faith in Jesus Christ, which inclines us supernaturally to accept his word. This precious light is within, so we must make it our business to walk in this light and never to allow it to darken. As our Lord says, "If then the light within you is darkness, how great that darkness." Christ is the light that enlightens every man, such that if we walk by his light we shall be saved. At the Last Supper we read that when Judas went out it was dark. If we refuse this light, the light of Christ, we shall be lost in the darkness, and how great will that darkness be?